Unraveling the Universal Truth, what Carl Jung reveals about the divine in us all. I never expected a single dream to change everything, but here I was. My heart raced as the echoes of a haunting vision lingered in my mind. I stood in a vast, dark forest, the trees looming like giants, their shadows stretching ominously over me. Silence wrapped around me like a tight hug, oppressive yet strangely comforting. I couldn't shake off the feeling that something, or someone, was watching me from the depths of that darkness. At that moment, I was lost in doubt. What was the purpose of my life? I had spent years searching for answers, seeking guidance from books, teachers, and the universe itself. Yet here I was, just a flicker in this grand tapestry of existence, feeling smaller than ever. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow. A breeze whispered secrets through the leaves, and I closed my eyes, desperate for clarity. Meditation did little to quiet my racing thoughts. Questions tumbled over each other like waves crashing on the shore. Why am I here? What is my truth? I opened my eyes, feeling the energy from the forest seep into my bones. A chirp from a distant bird broke the stillness, a reminder that life continued, but I felt frozen. The branches swayed, and for a brief moment, I could have sworn I saw a shimmering figure dart behind a tree. My breath caught in my throat. Was it real? A trick of the light? Or an invitation from the unknown? I ventured deeper into the woods, the ground soft and yielding beneath my feet. A strange feeling of being surrounded by unseen forces pressed against my chest. The air buzzed with potential, charged like static before a storm. I could sense the energy spiraling around me, weaving a tapestry of connection that bound me to everything: nature, spirit, and the whispers of the past. I stumbled upon a clearing, and there it was, an ancient stone altar, worn by time. Strange markings danced across its surface, inviting exploration and igniting a fire in my heart. My fingers traced the grooves, feeling the pulse of history within the cold stone. Had others stood here, just as I was, seeking the divine in themselves? Had they found answers, or left with just more questions? I took a deep breath, inhaling the earthy scent of moss and leaves, grounding myself for what was to come. The wind picked up, swirling leaves around me, filling the air with an otherworldly energy. My vision blurred for a moment, as a soft hum filled my ears. It resonated with a forgotten part of my soul. And in that instant, I saw a flicker of light, breaking through the shadows, illuminating the path ahead. But just as quickly as it appeared, it vanished, leaving me with a tumult of uncertainty. What did it mean? Was it a sign of hope or a warning? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The air grew heavy, almost electric, as I stood before the ancient altar. It felt like the heartbeat of the forest, echoing my own. The flicker of light had left me on edge, a question mark hanging in the silence. I took a step back, momentarily overwhelmed by the weight of this discovery. Here, in the depths of the woods, lay not just an altar but a gateway, a threshold between the earthly and the divine. As I turned to leave the clearing, I spotted a small, flickering glow in the distance. Compelled by its pull, I followed the shimmer, weaving my way through the dense underbrush. Each step felt preordained, as if the forest was guiding me toward something profound. The rustle of leaves whispered encouragement, while branches parted like curtains to reveal a hidden grove. In this serene sanctuary, a figure stood before a mirrored pond, the water so still it looked like glass. She was an old woman, her silver hair cascading over her shoulders like gossamer threads. Her presence radiated calm, her eyes sparkling with the wisdom of ages. I sensed an immediate connection, a thread weaving between our souls. "Welcome to the liminal space," she said, her voice gentle yet powerful, resonating through the quiet woods. "You've come seeking truth, haven't you?" Nodding, I felt an urge to explain my burdens, my endless search for answers. Yet, the words caught in my throat as I became aware of the depth of her gaze. "Truth cannot be captured in words," she replied, as if reading my thoughts. "It dances just beyond our grasp, revealing itself in layers like the petals of a flower. You must be willing to peel them back, embracing the vulnerability that lies within." The rippling water before us caught my attention, reflecting not just the trees surrounding us, but fragments of my own memories. Faces of loved ones, moments of joy and sorrow, flickered across the surface. I leaned closer, gazing into the depths of my existence. "Every ripple has a purpose," she continued, "much like every experience shapes who you are. You hold the power to interpret these reflections. Together, we shall unveil your path forward." Intrigued, I hesitated but found myself drawn to her. The notion of latent power stirred within me as I dared to ask, "How will I find my way? What if I falter?" The old woman smiled, her expression wise and kind. "Faltering is part of the journey. Consider the seasons the trees shed their leaves, only to bloom again. Life and growth require cycles of release and renewal. What you seek lies not at the end of your path, but within each step you take. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, the grove began to shimmer in hues of gold and crimson. I longed to ask her more, to probe deeper into the essence of this journey, but just as swiftly as she appeared, she began to dissolve into the shadows of the grove, leaving me with only the echo of her words. "Remember," her voice lingered, ethereal and haunting, "the light flickers in accordance with your courage to face the darkness." Alone with the pond, I reflected on what I had encountered. It was as if the universe itself had conspired to deliver these insights, yet clarity remained elusive. Questions bubbled to the surface. How could I embody this understanding? What would it take to reclaim the lost pieces of my spirit? As the last rays of day surrendered to night, I felt pulled towards ending the circle that had begun with the altar, yet the forest still held many secrets. The unease within me persisted, a yearning for what lay ahead. In the embrace of twilight, I took one last look at the pond, now a mirror of the vast and starry sky. With every heartbeat, I mulled over the words of the old woman, pondering what revelations awaited in the shadows of my journey. Would I embrace the cyclical return of my spirit? Or would I remain in the hesitation of unknowing? The answers danced on the edge of my consciousness, teasing me with the promise of discovery yet to come. Would the call of the unseen lead to further illumination or deeper questioning? I turned back towards the depths of the forest, brimming with conviction and uncertainty, ready to follow its beckoning call into the unknown. The darkness settled around me like a thick cloak as I stepped back into the embrace of the forest, each shadow shifting and dancing in the dim light. It felt alive, as if the very trees and earth were breathing in rhythm with me. I felt the ancient energy swirling around, the weight of ages past resting on my shoulders, guiding me deeper into its heart. As I ventured further, the path twisted like a serpent, winding through towering trees whose branches seemed to whisper secrets as the wind caressed their leaves. I could sense the presence of something ethereal lurking just beyond my awareness, always on the periphery. My heart raced, caught between apprehension and exhilaration, the old woman's words echoing in my mind, "The light flickers in accordance with your courage to face the darkness." Suddenly, I came upon a clearing lit by what appeared to be a soft glow emanating from within a stone circle. Intrigued, I approached cautiously. The stones stood sentinel, each one etched with strange, spiraling symbols that seemed to glimmer in the night. In the center of the circle, small flames danced atop a bed of herbs, their crackling sound melding with the forest symphony. Circling around the stones, I caught sight of a figure draped in flowy garments, their silhouette moving in fluid motions akin to the flames themselves. A figure surfaced from the shadows, a man, his hair long and wild, his face illuminated by the firelight. His eyes sparkled as if they held the stars themselves. "Welcome, seeker," he said, his voice smooth yet powerful. "You have entered the sacred circle of reflection, where the past and future converge. What memories do you bring with you? What yearning propels your spirit forward?" I hesitated, the weight of his question sending shivers through me. Memories flooded my mind: childhood laughter, painful goodbyes, moments of profound joy, and aching sorrow. Each memory, a flickering flame, shaped the person I was, but which of them held the key to my next step? "I've come to understand myself," I began, my voice trembling slightly. "But the path seems obscured, and I often feel adrift within my own reflections." He nodded, unfurling his arms as if to embrace the very air around us. "To uncover the truth, you must first embrace what lies beneath the surface. The dance of light and shadow is where the spirit transforms. Allow me to guide you. Will you dare to confront your deepest fears?" My breath caught in my throat at the prospect. Fear had been a constant companion, a shadow lurking at the edge of my thoughts, a reminder of my limitations, the doubts that chained my spirit. Yet, a flicker of courage ignited within me as I considered his invitation. "Yes," I replied, the word escaping like a tether breaking free. "I will confront what terrifies me." The man smiled, his expression imbued with an understanding that transcended time. "Then let us embark on this journey together. Gaze into the flames, let your thoughts take flight, and allow them to reveal the shadows that conceal the truth within." I stepped closer to the fire, its warmth wrapping around me like a lover's embrace. The flames seemed to swell and shift, presenting an array of shapes and visions, images of choices, moments of failure, dreams I had abandoned. Each flicker ignited something deep inside me, a rumbling awareness that these shadows were not to be feared but understood. "Tell me, what do you see?" the man urged, his voice barely above a whisper, yet echoing with a compelling force. I see my doubts," I breathed, captivated by the vivid imagery before me. "I see the parts of me that yearn for acceptance, yet I am afraid they won't be loved." "That is where your light lives," he said, the intensity of his gaze holding me steady. "To find the universal truth, you must embrace your darkness, your vulnerabilities. It is here that you will discover the essence of who you are, a radiant being capable of transformative love." The fire pulsed in response to his words, enveloping me in an aura of warmth and understanding. With each heartbeat, the shadows grew less menacing, revealing the beauty intertwined within my fears. I understood now that they were not barriers, but invitations to delve deeper into my own spirit. What lies on the other side of this reflection? I pondered aloud, my thoughts spiraling into new realms of possibility. Can I truly transform, or will I always remain tethered to this past? The man nodded knowingly, maintaining his steady gaze. Every moment is an opportunity for rebirth. Trust in the process, even amidst uncertainty, seek compassion for yourself and others. Hold the questions lightly, for they will guide you further. His words resonated within me, igniting a slow-burning realization that the journey would not only demand courage but also a delicate balance of patience and love. As I contemplated this insight, a new question rose within, a question that stirred the depths of my spirit. What if the answers I seek are not linear, but a web of interconnected truths? A pulse of energy surged through me as I turned my attention back to the dancing flames, embracing the uncertainty, the beauty in not knowing. With every flickering light, I became acutely aware that life was a symphony of experiences, each note a vital part of a greater composition yet to be revealed. As the fire crackled and the man watched in silence, I felt a connection to something transcendent, a reminder that the quest for spiritual truth is a complex tapestry woven from both light and dark. With my heart alight with newfound perspectives, a determined resolve unfurled within me. I stepped back from the sacred circle, grateful for the fire's lessons, yet aware that the forest still beckoned with more secrets. What other transformative revelations awaited me in the depths of these woods? Would I continue to unravel the mystery of my existence, or would I find myself ensnared in deeper questions that challenge my understanding of the divine? As I wandered onwards, the forest whispered in response a promise of adventure just beyond the next bend. As I continued through the forest, the fire's warmth lingered within me, a glowing ember igniting my spirit with a desire to uncover the layers of truth that lay hidden among the trees. Each step seemed to resonate with possibility, the very earth beneath my feet pulsating with an unspoken wisdom. The shadows conspired around me, but now they felt less oppressive and more like companions, guiding me deeper into the expansiveness of my journey. The air grew thicker with the scent of pine and damp earth, and the moon emerged from behind wispy clouds, casting silvery beams that illuminated the path ahead. Something was shifting within me, each heartbeat echoing a mantra of awakening. I recalled the man's words: embracing my darkness was the gateway to my transformation. The idea of interconnected truths sparked curiosity about what else the universe wished to reveal. In the distance, I noticed a glimmer like starlight woven into the fabric of the night. Drawn towards it, I stumbled upon another clearing, this one encircled by ancient oaks, their gnarled branches reaching out like wise old arms. At the center, a pool of water reflected the celestial tapestry above, every star dancing in harmony with the gentle ripples. Approaching the water's edge, I felt a shiver of recognition. It was as if I had entered a sacred space devoted to introspection and healing. A figure emerged from behind one of the great oaks, a woman, her hair woven with wildflowers, her presence radiant yet serene. She bore a gentle smile, her eyes glimmering with the wisdom of ages. "Welcome, traveler. The waters of reflection are calling. What do you seek to uncover in your quest for truth?" My heart quickened. Here too lay an opportunity for revelation. "I seek to understand the intricate tapestry of my experiences and how they shape my spirit," I replied. "I feel an urge to embrace vulnerability, but also fear what that entails." She nodded, a knowing light behind her gaze. "The waters will reveal not only what you seek but also what you have overlooked. They reflect not just the surface, but the depths of your being. Will you dive into them, let your truth rise unfiltered?" An involuntary shiver ran down my spine as the invitation echoed within me. Would I dare to immerse myself in this exploration? Sensing the uncertainty hovering around my decision, she extended her hand, inviting me to sit beside her. "Do not rush. Sometimes it is through stillness that we catch whispers of the divine." I lowered myself beside her, feeling the cool earth beneath me, grounding me in the present moment. The woman closed her eyes, her breath synchronizing with the soft murmurs of nature. I followed suit, slowly inhaling the night air and exhaling my trepidation. As I breathed, my thoughts began to drift like leaves in a gentle stream. The moonlight shimmered upon the water, creating a mirror of my inner landscape, and slowly, faces and memories emerged like reflections: past joys, shadows of regret, the vibrant threads of hope intertwined with frayed edges of despair. The realization seeped into my consciousness: each moment in my life was a brushstroke on the canvas of my soul. "Why do the past wounds trouble me so?" I murmured, breaking the stillness, my heart open. "How can I reconcile the pieces of myself I've left scattered in the wake of my fears?" The woman turned to me, her eyes luminous. "To confront your wounds is to engage in a dance of compassion. Life's challenges are both the soil from which you grow and the shadows that guide your understanding. You must honor them, not as burdens, but as teachers." Her words resonated, illuminating the path forward. What if the shadows, once deemed obstacles, were in truth the stepping stones to clarity? If I could accept each rupture as part of my narrative rather than a reason for shame, I might embody a more complete version of myself. But how do I integrate these lessons into my being? I asked, longing for tangible steps toward embracing the wholeness of my journey. Gazing into the pool, she replied, "Consider each reflection not as an isolated moment but as part of a grander rhythm. The universe speaks in cycles. Embrace your stories, honor your fears, and allow them to guide you. You are writing your own mythos." Pondering this, I looked deeper into the water, and the shimmering surface began to morph. I saw not just my past but glimpses of potential futures, paths I might walk, choices yet made, the diverging branches of possibility stretching out before me. Each vision was a reminder that the story was alive, unfolding with each breath I took. What if I make the wrong choice? I found myself asking, uncertainty creeping back in. "Ah, yet there are no wrong choices in this labyrinth of existence," she replied. "Every choice is a thread weaving into the fabric of your journey, an invitation to confront new realms of learning. Will you allow love and curiosity to guide your heart, rather than fear?" Her words struck a chord deep within, and the layers of fear surrounding my heart began to loosen. In that moment, I felt a connection resonating not only with her but with the cosmos itself, a reminder that existence is a beautiful interplay where questions lead to discoveries. As we sat in silence, contemplating the profound wisdom flowing through the night, I felt a surge of gratitude. I was not alone, the universe was a companion, always unfolding, inviting me to participate in the dance of creation. Yet new questions began swirling in my mind, each one nesting within the other like cosmic nesting dolls. What if love is the primary force guiding us through the darkness? How do we nurture that love when doubt whispers so loudly? The pool's surface continued to ripple as the wind brushed through the leaves above. New reflections sparkled before me, inviting contemplation without the promise of answers. I realized that my journey was just beginning, a magnificent tapestry waiting to be woven with the threads of uncertainty, complexities, and the love that binds us all. As we ultimately prepared to rise from our moments of stillness, I felt the night wrap around me like a comforting blanket, ready to lead me further into the wilderness. The forest awaited, promising more signs and revelations, urging me to untangle the divine mystery that resided not only in me but in the world around. What insights would the embrace of the trees offer next? And could it be that the questions I harbored would unlock the door to deeper understanding? With each step forward, the forest seemed to echo my own heartbeat, a reminder that the journey to disentangle truth from illusion was a path worth pursuing, even with the uncertainty it held. As I stood at the edge of the clearing, urged by the soft murmur of the universe, I felt an unquenchable pull to venture deeper into the woods. The woman's words lingered in my heart, wrapping around me like a protective cloak. I took a final glance at the shimmering pool of reflection, its surface now smooth, mirroring the heavens above. With a deep breath, I stepped back onto the forest path, allowing the night air to cradle me once more. The terrain shifted underfoot, the soft loam giving way to harsher roots and stones, each with its own story etched into its surface. Moonbeams filtered through the canopy, painting the ground in intricate patterns of light and shadow. It felt as if the forest itself were alive, pulsating with energy and wisdom that beckoned for my attention. In the depths of the thicket, I stumbled upon a grand archway of intertwining branches adorned with blossoms glowing faintly in the twilight. It felt significant, like a portal to another realm, and I knew I had to pass through. As I stepped beneath the arch, an unexpected sensation washed over me, an electric tingle that wove itself into the fabric of my being. It was a surge of connection, a reminder that I was part of something unfathomably larger. As I emerged on the other side, I found myself in a sun-drenched grove, the ground covered in soft moss that welcomed my footsteps. Here, the atmosphere was charged with an enchanting stillness, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was exactly where I needed to be. In this sacred space, the shadows seemed to take life, swirling like dancers around an unseen fire. A deep vibration interrupted my reverie, beckoning me toward the heart of the grove. There, nestled within the embraces of nature, lay a modest altar of stone, adorned with objects that whispered tales of reverence, feathers, crystals, and symbols I could barely recognize. At the center sat an intricately carved wooden figure, its serene expression evoking a sense of divine peace. A meditative energy radiated from it, prompting me to approach. As I drew closer, I noticed the figure's eyes sparkled with living light, and an overwhelming sense of familiarity swept over me. Kneeling before the altar, I reached out, my fingers brushing against the cool, worn surface of the carving. Instantly, a wave of warmth flooded my body, a gentle surge like the embrace of an old friend. The carving seemed to pulse beneath my touch, and I closed my eyes, surrendering to the communion. In an instant, a vivid vision unfolded behind my closed eyelids. I was transported to scenes of vibrant life, people of all walks of life, radiant with joy and laughter, moments of tenderness between strangers, instances of unrestrained creativity that illuminated the essence of existence. Each vision was imbued with warmth, encouraging connection, understanding, and compassion as the universal language binding us together. Yet, in the space between the visions, shadows flickered, remnants of fear and doubt that had sought to confine me. They danced and coiled but were met with the light emanating from each heartfelt encounter. I understood now, the interplay of light and dark was not a battle but a dance, where each played a vital role in the larger tapestry of existence. I opened my eyes, breathless and awash with newfound understanding. The wooden figure before me seemed infused with the spirit of all those I had encountered, a testament to the interconnectedness of our journeys. Suddenly, the air shifted, and I became aware of a presence behind me, a warmth radiating like sunlight breaking through clouds. Turning slowly, I found myself face to face with a creature of majestic grace, a stag, its coat shimmering with the essence of twilight, its antlers crowned in delicate flowers that glinted like stars. I marveled at its beauty, and our eyes locked in a profound understanding that transcended words. There was an invitation within that gaze, a beckoning to trust in my path, to embrace my fading doubts and shadows as companions in growth. As the stag took a step forward, a rush of clarity washed over me. I realized that the beauty of the journey lay not just in seeking answers but in honoring each step taken along the way, every misstep, every heartache, all woven into the vast narrative of myself. The stag seemed to embody the spirit of guidance, a reminder that I never traversed the forest alone. Companions in light and darkness walked beside me. With newfound courage, I followed the stag deeper into the grove, aware that it guided me to new revelations yet to unfold. The forest thrummed with life, resonating with the heartbeat of the universe as it whispered secrets waiting to be discovered. As I ventured onward, a question lingered at the edge of my consciousness, one that pulsated with the throb of curiosity. How do I honor the interplay of my light and dark, my growth and my fears, in a way that weaves them together into a tapestry I can proudly bear? The path ahead beckoned, and with it, the promise of more encounters, more reflections, more truths unfurling like the petals of the night blooming flowers that open to the moonlight in their own sacred dance. The stag moved with a grace that seemed to resonate with the very pulse of the earth beneath us, leading me onward into a serene expanse where the trees parted, revealing an open field kissed by fireflies that floated like tiny stars against the backdrop of twilight. The air was fragrant with the scent of night-blooming jasmine, a perfume that felt imbued with secrets of the cosmos, weaving a narrative rich in both comfort and mystery. As I stepped into the field, a gentle breeze enveloped me, carrying with it whispers that danced among the tall grasses. They were words I couldn't quite grasp, yet they stirred something deep inside, a yearning to listen, to absorb the wisdom hidden in the rustle of leaves and the soft sigh of the wind. The stag led me toward a circle of stones that appeared ancient, their surfaces draped with moss, carrying the weight of countless stories. In the center of the circle, a deep well shimmered, its surface reflecting the starlit sky above like a mirror of possibility. The well beckoned, and I felt the deep need to approach it, each step resonating with the echoes of generations long past. Kneeling beside the well, I allowed my fingertips to glide over the cool stone, connecting with a sense of sacredness, of reverence. As I peered into the depths, the water shimmered, and once again, I was pulled into a vision, this time unveiling layers of history, cultures melding through time like threads weaving into a grand tapestry of shared existence. I saw ancient rituals under moonlit skies, souls gathering in the dance of life, celebrating the sacredness of community and unity. I felt the energy of their hopes, fears, and dreams wrapping tightly around my essence, each story a brushstroke in a collective masterpiece. The strength of their spirits surged through me, igniting a longing to express my own truths, and then, amidst the vibrant sea of humanity, flickers of doubt emerged, shadows whispering reminders of my brokenness, but there, too, within that swirling tapestry, I felt the warmth of acceptance weaving through my heart. What if those doubts were merely reflections of a shared experience? Each person I witnessed was on their own journey, grappling with their own contrasts, light and dark coexisting, fragility and strength threading together in the ever-expanding circle of life. The well pulsed with this understanding, and I realized that my struggles, too, could be a source of strength, an avenue for deeper connections. Emerging from the reverie, I looked up, my gaze drawn once more to the stag. It was transfixed, as if aware of the stories weaving through my soul, giving me space to understand the significance of this profound encounter. Slowly, I rose to my feet, feeling the weight of both my burdens and my triumphs swelling within me like the moon rising over the horizon. Yet, as I stood there, a question began to rise with the tide of awakening: what does it mean to fully embrace both my light and my dark? To allow my shadows to be acknowledged not as adversaries, but as integral parts of the tapestry of who I am? In the resonance of the well's energy, those questions echoed loudly, weaving through the fabric of my thoughts, and wondering what revelations awaited in the depths of that exploration. That I caught the stag's gaze once more, an invitation still shimmering within its depths, encouragement to venture onward, deeper into the realm of self-discovery. The path stretched out before me, aglow with possibilities. As I stepped forward, there was no hesitation, just a sense of wonder at the journey yet to unfold and the wisdom yet to uncover. I felt the forest surrounding me, alive and breathing, a symphony of existence that echoed the dance of the universe itself. As I moved further into the unknown, doubts and questions blossomed like the fragrant jasmine around me. What revelations would I unearth next, and how would they reshape my understanding of existence? The night was wide open ahead, filled with whispers of truth waiting patiently in the stillness, beckoning me to listen and to unveil the greater understanding of my own heart in the tapestry of life. The stag led me deeper into the heart of the forest, where shadows danced playfully between trees that towered like ancient sentinel guardians. Each step felt heavier with anticipation, yet lightened by an unseen hand guiding me forward, as if the very air around me pulsed with unearthed wisdom. The symphony of crickets and rustling leaves framed my thoughts, creating a backdrop for the unfolding journey that lay before me. As I ventured further, the trees began to thin, and I stumbled upon a clearing that opened wide like an expansive embrace. In the center stood a gnarled tree, its branches twisted in graceful arcs, adorned with delicate lanterns that glowed softly with a warm, inviting light. This tree, ancient and wise, seemed to breathe with a life of its own. The roots twisted deep into the earth, and its bark was etched with symbols that whispered a forgotten knowledge, a language of the divine written in the essence of life itself. Drawn to this marvel, I felt an overwhelming urge to touch the tree, to connect with its energy. As my fingers grazed the rough surface, a sensation surged through me, a vivid flash of feeling that transported me beyond time. I found myself witnessing scenes of creation, fragments of existence spiraling across eons. I saw stars birthed in cosmic nurseries, planets formulating their destinies, and life emerging in pulsating rhythms across landscapes of beauty and chaos. Amidst this grandeur, I saw echoes of humanity dancing around fires, sharing stories under the cosmos. The laughter and the tears flowed together, an organic tapestry woven of shared joys and pains. In this visual cascade, I felt the connection we all had, each person a thread that contributed to a larger design. Yet, within the splendor, my heart ached with the realization of our collective struggle, the human tendency to forget our interdependence. Suddenly, a soft voice emerged from within the tree, resonating inside my mind. It spoke of balance, how the rhythms of light and dark worked not against each other, but in harmony, each echo reflecting the other. Embrace your complexities, it urged. In understanding your shadow, you give light a place to flourish. Do not fear the parts of you that resist, they guide you back to wholeness. I closed my eyes, feeling tears spill down my cheeks, a release I hadn't anticipated. This tree, a symbol of hope, grounded me. The weight of my past tumult began to feel less like a burden and more like a path leading toward greater insight. I realized this moment was a pivotal turning point, the tree's wisdom intertwining with my heart's deepest inquiries. How do we acknowledge our shadows without letting them define us? As I opened my eyes once more, the stag stood patiently, observing with a knowing gaze. The shadows encroaching around its frame mirrored my uncertainty, and yet, a gentle nudge urged me to pursue the answers hidden beneath my own layers of consciousness. The tree and the stag together represented the sacred union of strength and vulnerability, guiding me to integrate these elements of my existence. With each passing moment, I felt a deepened integrity to my spirit. The light from the lanterns flickered brighter, and I understood that moving toward truth required shedding the facade of comfort. I would need to lean into discomfort, embracing the parts of me hidden in darkness, to allow light's full expression. With resolve, I took a step back, gazing at the gnarled branches stretching toward the night sky. What if my fears and doubts are merely the universe urging me to grow? The question lingered in the stillness of the clearing, mingling with the soft rustle of leaves overhead. As I stood at the intersection of my past and future, a feeling of empowerment washed over me, urging me to press on. The stag shifted, a gentle nudge to remind me of my path. I turned toward the vastness beyond the clearing, ready to explore the realms of existence that awaited me, armed with the understanding that the duality within me was not a flaw but the cradle from which authenticity could bloom. And so, in this moment of reflection, my spirit prepared to soar further into the unknown, weaving yet another thread in the grand tapestry of existence. What other truths awaited discovery, and how might they transform my understanding of my place in the universe? The night stretched infinitely before me, full of potential and unanswered questions waiting to blossom into the essence of my journey. The stag led me away from the clearing, its presence a firm yet gentle reminder of the path ahead. The shadows thickened, embracing the twilight as though they too were eager to reveal their secrets. With each step, I felt a current of energy, an undercurrent that hummed with potential. The trees around me seemed to murmur, communicating in a language older than words, their branches stretching out as if to beckon me deeper into their embrace. Just beyond the tree line, I came upon a stream, the water gleaming under the scattered light of the stars, a silver pathway shimmering with possibilities. Kneeling beside it, I couldn't help but be mesmerized by its fluid motion. I reached out to touch the cool water, my fingers dancing upon the surface, sending ripples that disrupted the reflection of the cosmos above. Here, the water was a mirror, revealing not just my face but layers of emotions that ebbed and flowed with the current. As I gazed intently, the visage that looked back at me began to shimmer and shift, revealing fleeting images, each encapsulating a moment of my past, snapshots of joy, echoes of laughter, and shadows of grief. It was a kaleidoscope of experiences, each forming an intricate story that was uniquely mine, yet deeply connected to the tapestry of humanity. I could almost hear the whisper of the stream, affirming the transient nature of emotions, how they surge like the water, carving their own path but ultimately returning to the source. Suddenly, the surface glittered with an ethereal glow. Within the reflections, I caught a glimpse of a figure, a woman, draped in flowing garments that swirled like the waters of the stream. Her eyes sparkled with ancient wisdom, and she beckoned me closer. "I am the keeper of the waters," she spoke, her voice a soothing melody that resonated through my very being. "I hold the memories of all who have come before you, their hopes and fears swirling within these depths." Compelled by an urge I could not define, I asked, "What do you seek from me?" The keeper of the waters smiled softly, and in her gaze, I recognized the weight of time itself. "You carry the fragments of their dreams, their questions intermingled with your own. Each soul that has dipped into this river has left a mark. Consider what you too will leave behind." Her words echoed in the hollows of my heart, instigating a quest for meaning that transcended this moment. I pondered what legacy meant to me, how I desired to intertwine my existence with others. "What happens to those dreams if we lose sight of them?" I inquired, fear creeping into the corners of my thoughts. "The river does not forget," she replied, her smile warming the cool air. "Even when you stray, these dreams ripple through the world, influencing those who come after you. Just like the tree in the clearing, they remind you that every shadow holds the potential of light." I felt the truth of her words wash over me. In that moment, I understood that every experience, joyous or painful, was an essential thread in the fabric of life. To dismiss my past would be to deny a part of myself. What must I do to acknowledge this? "Listen closely," she instructed, reaching out with a delicate hand. "What speaks to your heart will guide you. Sometimes, it is in the silence that you find the greatest revelations." Time seemed to stretch in that twilight glow, as I pondered her wisdom. I closed my eyes, allowing the sound of the stream to wash over me, washing away my doubts. What emerged was a curiosity, a desire to uncover the depths of my own existence, to explore the fullest expression of my soul. As I opened my eyes, a profound sense of interconnectedness enveloped me. A realization struck: we are vessels carrying the weight of the world's dreams, and in acknowledging our true nature, we fulfill our purpose. Questions swirled within me like the water's flow. What dreams do I carry? How might I use them to initiate positive change in both my life and others? Overhead, the constellations twinkled playfully, a reminder of the vastness of the universe. I looked to the stag, whose presence was both calming and affirming. It stood as a symbol of courage, urging me forward into the depths of my own river of existence. Yet as I moved, uncertainty lingered, teasing at the edges of my understanding. What if I ventured into the unknown and did not return whole? Could I truly bear the weight of burying my fears only to unearth them again? In this moment of reflection, the gravity of my journey deepened. I remained on the precipice of an exciting discovery, understanding that each question I posed also fostered the seed of answers yet to be explored. I took a deep breath, prepared to continue along the path the stag illuminated, poised at the edge of revelation, wondering what treasures awaited in the heart of the universe still waiting to unfurl. The stag moved with grace, its hooves barely making a sound on the moss-covered ground. Each rhythmic step drew me closer to an unknown destiny, the air becoming thicker with the scent of earth and the lingering sweetness of night-blooming flowers. I was acutely aware of every detail: the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind, the distant call of an owl, the coolness of the soil beneath my feet. Each element began to weave a spell of tranquility, yet sparked an insatiable curiosity that danced in my chest. As we ventured deeper into the woods, the branches above intertwined like fingers, forming a natural canopy that filtered the moonlight into silver beams. I felt an indescribable pull, as if the very forest sought to share its wisdom with me. With every step, I was reminded of the interconnectedness of all beings: each tree, each creature, each breeze carrying the stories of the earth. The keeper of the water's words still echoed in my mind, a gentle nudge to seek out the unseen. Suddenly, the stag halted, its head raised high, ears twitching as if tuned to a frequency beyond my comprehension. I followed the direction of its gaze and found that the dim light was a soft glow coming from a thicket nearby. Intrigued, I stepped closer, my heartbeat accelerating with anticipation. The air crackled with potential, a sense that something momentous was about to unfold. Pushing through the foliage, I felt as though I crossed a threshold into another realm. Before me lay a small gathering of luminescent fungi, their bioluminescence casting a serene glow that illuminated the surrounding darkness. It felt sacred, a hidden sanctuary of light amidst the encroaching shadows of the forest. I knelt to examine the delicate caps, each one pulsating softly as if in conversation with the stars above. In that moment, I became aware of another presence. Soft laughter floated through the air, accompanied by a gentle wind that swayed the mushrooms like a dance. I turned to find a boy, carefree and radiant, clad in garments woven from earthy fibers and adorned with leaves. His eyes shone with mischief, reflective of the innocence of youth, yet there lay a depth in his Gazia wisdom that belied his appearance. "Why do you linger in the shadows?" he asked, tilting his head, a smile playing on his lips. "The night is alive with magic, and you too are part of it." I felt a warmth in his words, igniting a spark of hope within me. "I seek the truth of my own existence," I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. "I wish to understand what I carry and how it connects to the world." He stepped forward, the light of the fungi casting strange patterns on his face. "To seek truth is to step into the unknown willingly. But don't forget that the journey is not just about discovery, it's about becoming a part of the story itself." His words danced in my mind as he knelt beside the glowing fungi, resting one hand against a cap as if tapping into their very essence. "These beings remind us that even in darkness, we can shine. In life's murky waters, it's easy to forget that light exists even if it comes from within." Nodding, I recognized this as another sign from the universe. A guiding revelation slipped into my consciousness: the courage to confront my shadows could illuminate hidden potential within me. "But how do I nurture that light?" I asked, filled with fervent curiosity. The boy's laughter rang out, not mocking but joyful, as he met my gaze with unyielding focus. "You already know the answer. Your dreams, your fears, your joys, embrace them. Each one holds a key to unlocking your spirit. They are simply waiting for you to acknowledge their presence." As those words hung in the air, I felt an awakening, a shift within me, a sense of beginning anew, shedding the doubts that had clouded my journey. The forest around us pulsed with life, echoing the resonance of my realization. I understood now that to embark upon this spiritual quest, I had to invite every part of my being into the light. A soft breeze enveloped us, and I looked once again at the boy, who now appeared to be fading into the shimmering light of the fungi. "Remember," he whispered, his form gradually dissolving into wisps of luminescence, "it is in the interweaving of dreams and reality where your truth exists. Seek it not just in the answers but in the questions themselves." And just like that, he was gone. I knelt surrounded by the faint glow, feeling both exhilarated and humbled. Unanswered questions swirled around me. What if the light I nurtured was born from the shadows I feared? What if the integral truths I sought were hidden in my unresolved stories, aching to be transformed into something beautiful? With the stag by my side, I rose and continued down the path illuminated by stars and whispers of the forest. I carried with me the tender reminder from a child of light, a spark that urged me to dive deeper, to embrace both the comfort and chaos of my existence. Each step forward reflected an unwillingness to retreat into complacency, as the journey I embarked upon was ever evolving. The air thickened with anticipation as I ventured farther into the forest, curiosity igniting my spirit. I pondered the boy's parting words: am I brave enough to turn my fears into flourishes of light? How will I interpret and forge the legacy that speaks to my heart? With the questions playing like a melody in my mind, I embraced the unfolding mystery, my heart whispering for answers hidden within the very fabric of my being. In the heart of the forest, clothed in the ethereal glow of twilight, I felt the weight of my journey settle upon me like a soft blanket. The stag, my silent guide, stood patiently beside me, its presence a grounding force, urging me to reflect on everything I had encountered thus far. The moment felt sacred, as if the very essence of the universe conspired to bring forth my next revelation. With a deep breath, I closed my eyes and surrendered to the stillness around me. I felt the pulse of the earth beneath me, a heartbeat synchronized with my own, carrying the whispers of generations past. The night air was thick with potential, and I could sense the mysteries of the forest drawing me closer to a deeper understanding of my purpose. Suddenly, I was transported back to the keeper of the waters, her gentle voice resonating in the core of my being. The river does not forget. I understood then that my journey was more than just an exploration of self, it was an invitation to reclaim the collective dreams and fears held within me. Each experience I gathered was a thread in the tapestry of human experience, interwoven with the light and shadows of existence. As I opened my eyes, the clearing began to shimmer with a different kind of light. The ancient tree stood tall and wise before me, its branches reaching toward the heavens, beckoning me to approach. I felt a magnetic pull as I stepped closer, my hand rising instinctively to touch the gnarled bark. A surge of energy flowed through me, igniting something dormant in my spirit, a memory, a truth, a spark of divine understanding. Suddenly, visions erupted within my mind. I saw countless souls traversing their paths, each encountering their trials and tribulations. I witnessed the richness of life, the agony of loss, the ecstasy of love, the beauty of creation. It dawned on me that within each moment of suffering lay the seeds of transformation, waiting to bloom into something magnificent. The realization crashed over me like a wave: the shadows I had feared were not my enemies but my teachers. They invited me to delve deeper, to excavate the gold buried within the soil of my experiences. With newfound clarity, I understood the significance of embracing my whole self, imperfections and all, as part of the divine dance of existence. I was not alone. My struggles mirrored those of humanity, a collective thread of resilience binding us to one another. As I stepped back from the tree, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace wash over me. The fears that once held me captive began to dissipate like mist under the rising sun. I could feel the weight of burdens lift, replaced by a profound sense of purpose. I was a vessel, a storyteller destined to share the complexities of my journey, a reminder that it is not just the light we hold within that defines us, but also the shadows that allow us to shine brighter. With this revelation blossoming in my heart, I turned to the stag, whose eyes mirrored the infinite wisdom of the cosmos. It felt as though we were connected in a sacred bond, a partnership forged in the fires of understanding. Together, we traversed the forest once more, but this time I saw it differently. The trees swayed lightly, the shadows danced joyfully, and the air shimmered with an energy filled with unspoken blessings. In the stillness of the night, I felt an overwhelming urge to share my newfound understanding with the world. The forest sang with the echoes of my intent, a call to those who struggled to find their way, those who felt alone in their pain, longing for the light that felt so distant. I understood now that by embracing my wholeness, I could inspire others to do the same, to connect with their truth nestled within the layers of their being. As we emerged from the depths of the woods, the moon above bathed the landscape in silver light, illuminating the path forward. I took a deep breath, filling my lungs with the crisp night air, feeling alive and awakened. My heart swelled with the realization that every question I had posed, every fear I had confronted, had brought me to this moment of clarity, the acceptance of the divine within me. What lay ahead was unknown, and yet it felt invigorating. I would embrace ambiguity and encourage others to step boldly into their own unknowns. I reveled in the idea that life would forge new questions, each leading to deeper truths waiting to blossom, and I would face it all, no longer afraid, and as I took that first step into the open expanse of the world beyond the forest, I knew that I was equipped with a powerful truth, that within each of us lies a divine spark, an ever-present light capable of transforming shadows into beauty and fear into courage. In that space of realization, my journey felt complete, yet infinitely expansive. The heart of the universe echoed through me, whispering the truth that I had sought in those dark corners of the forest. With clarity and love guiding my path, I emerged as both seeker and sage, ready to dance in the light and honor the Shadowsa luminous being, woven into the very fabric of existence itself. In the grand tapestry of life, we are all threads, each one essential, vibrant, and interconnected. And within each thread lies the power to illuminate the world, simply by being authentically, unapologetically ourselves.